Hello, I am Stephanie, I am an artist and I live in Vannes, France. In today's video I'm going to show you how I packaged my latest sculpture, Neon Night. So how I make my packaging is something that I get asked about all the time over on my Instagram account. I do custom packaging for all of my sculptures, as all my sculptures are very different. I always work on objects, and so obviously the shapes are a bit complex and my work is very delicate, so it's a bit of a tricky thing to ship. So obviously a lot of you are wondering how I do it. So it's not rocket science. A lot of it is mostly eye measuring and just kind of winging it. And what I do is to use cardboard boxes, so I either reclaim those that I get when I do some online shopping, or sometimes if I don't have enough boxes, and yes, that happens, I don't do that much online shopping normally. So when I don't have enough cardboard boxes at home, what I do is to go to my local grocery shop. And you might know that, but most of the time grocery shops get all their food in cardboard boxes, so they usually just throw them away. So if you ask them nicely, they will likely say yes, and even they might keep the best ones for you, so that's another option for you to get cardboard boxes. Another thing to keep in mind is my work is upcycled. I do upcycled art. I use trash and old objects, thrifted objects, and I transform them into art. And so making custom packaging that is also upcycled from cardboard boxes makes perfect sense and is coherent with the rest of my work, but it might not be for you. So depending on what you are doing as an artist, you might want to make boxes that are more sleek, more decorated, or more colorful, or more luxurious. So you really have to assess what is going to work best for your very own sculptures. But I think you can still use cardboard and upcycle it. Just keep in mind that you might need to put in more work and more precision than what I'm going to show you. So in today's video we are going to package this one, Neon Night, that I just finished. It's an artwork for an upcoming show in San Francisco, if I'm correct. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's San Francisco, in Modern Eden Gallery. The show is called Midnight Garden, so I made this artwork specifically for that show. And as you can see, it's fairly intricate and delicate and detailed, and it's actually pretty heavy, so the box is going to be a bit of a hassle to make. Or was a hassle because I finished it already. Yeah. So the first thing is to find a box that is going to fit your sculpture. You want some space all around the sculpture inside the box, so keep that in mind. Now, more often than not, you're not going to find a perfect box, because that's not how life works. So you're going to find boxes that are either slightly smaller or larger, or sometimes not high enough. Too small is going to be quite tricky to work with. I would suggest you always take boxes that are slightly larger and then just reduce them. And the height is not too much of a problem because you can simply add some walls inside, which is going to make for a sturdier box anyway. So in my case, I found a box that was the perfect size, but the walls were really flimsy, so I had to strengthen them. And for that, nothing more easy. I just added some cardboard and glued it with some white glue. And during the gluing process, I added some books for weight. Once you have your box, you are going to create inlets. So the idea is to have a base inlet that is going to stabilize the sculpture at the bottom, and then create an inlet that you can add and remove on top so that the sculpture doesn't move. So we are starting obviously by the bottom, and in this case what I always start with is to take a piece of cardboard of the size of the box, so I just cut it to size, and then I will draw the sculpture onto that cardboard, cut that drawing out, and this will be the first stabilization of said sculpture. Now, depending on how your sculpture is made, I can double or triple that cardboard base to make for very stable ground. In my case, the sculpture was rounded and heavy, so I decided to go at it a bit differently, and I simply added cardboard all around the sculpture just to really stabilize it. I really work around the sculpture, measuring directly on the artwork and cutting and then gluing as I go. Once the base is stabilized, you still need to stabilize the sculpture in height. Your end goal is to be able to shake the whole box without the sculpture moving inside. So that's the ultimate goal. Now, Neon Night was a bit of a headache when it came to the inlet, but I found 2 anchors to put the inlets on top and to stabilize the sculpture. Now, obviously, depending on your sculpture, you might find a lot more anchors to stabilize it. What I always do once I finish the inlets is to bind them together. I really want the art collector or gallery that opens the box has it the easiest possible. So my goal is to have just one inlet to remove or place back before you get to the sculpture. This makes it also easier if the collector wants to pack the piece again or if the gallery has to ship back your artwork. Now, once you made the box and the inlets and that your sculpture seems to be stabilized, you still need a lid. For that, I find a piece of cardboard that is slightly bigger than the box. And then I fold all around the box. I really work around the box because by now my box is not that straight. Usually when you work with upcycled boxes, you have a bit of rounded angles or some things are not perfectly symmetrical. So I draw onto the cardboard piece where the lid has to fold. I then cut, fold, and eventually glue the lid together. I also glue the bottom inlet at the bottom of the box. Now, once the box is done and you made the shake testing, so you took the box and you shook it once or twice to see if the sculpture really doesn't move inside. So once you did this, once it's completely dry, you can paint the box. So what I do is to paint it all in black, but feel free to paint it whatever you want, or maybe you can even glue some papers or even newspapers. You can get creative with that. Don't spend too much time on it though, it's still just packaging, but you can put some time on it. I'm sure your artwork is worth it. At the end, I also decorate the lid with a cellular drawing. I add the name of the artwork, the date of creation, and I sign it. I really consider the box to be a part of the artwork. I also add a handmade authenticity certificate, and it's ready to go. Now, the last thing I do before shipping is to wrap it again into something. I usually tend to use bubble wrap because I feel like that's the safest, and then I put it in a bigger box and then it's ready to ship. So that's pretty much it for how I package my artwork. It's not complex, but it takes a lot of time. It usually takes me at least a day to get it done, often 2 days because it's boring. And so, yeah, not really interesting to make boxes, but here you go. So I usually count 2 days of packing and then I can ship it to the art collector or the art gallery if it participates to a group show. I hope this was helpful for you. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, share, maybe subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!